Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Spirituality in Action. I remain your host, Clement Eto. With me on the program is Valerie Izegbuna. You are welcome to the program.
Valerie. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for the invitation.
Awesome. Glad that you're here. Together we'll be treating the topic, the never-ending stream of God's provision. Before we proceed, I would like to remind our listeners that free copies of Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures are available to those who send SMSs containing their names and addresses to the numbers that will be given at the end of the program. And for those who have been contacted already, who have already sent in their addresses, within 7 days your copies will be delivered. Now, I'll just go right into it. How do you counsel individuals who are struggling to see evidence of God's provision in their lives, especially when facing immediate material needs like financial hardships or health challenges?
You see, when I think about the never-ending stream of God's provision, which is our topic, what usually comes to mind is the first verse of one of our hymns. It says, immortal love, forever full, forever flowing free, forever shared, forever whole, and never ebbing sea. Now, God's love for us, which we see and receive in tangible forms like good health, like provision, good jobs, and all that, the good things of life, they come to us in a never-ending stream. Like the hymn says, it's always flowing free. There are no obstructions, there are no delays, there are no restrictions at all. Thinking about this further, I don't know, have you noticed that practically all the examples of God's provision in the Bible come with such an abundance and overflow?
True.
Starting from Psalm 23, which says, my cup runneth over. It doesn't say my cup is full and just enough for what I need. It says my cup runneth over. There's an abundance there. Jesus fed multitudes twice, and there were baskets of food left over. Manna fell from the sky in abundance. A woman even experienced abundance in the midst of a famine. And if we look at it, it's not so different from what is going on now, especially in Nigeria, with the economic downturn, the high, fuel pump price, inflation. You go to the market, it looks like it's difficult to buy food items and things like that. These things can be distressing, yes. But what's really behind all that? It's the belief that we can't get enough of what we need, whether it is food, whether it is, amenities generally, or that we don't have access to these things when we need them or when we want them. But, we can actually experience the same abundance the people in the Bible experienced. And the reason we can do that is because provision or supply or whatever we want to call it in this case is actually spiritual. It's not material. Let's take alphabets and numbers, for example. We don't run out of them. It's not possible. There is no economic policy anywhere that will make me run out of the letter S or make you run out of, maybe say, the number 6. Because we know they are spiritual assets. You don't go to bed worried that, by tomorrow morning, I may not have enough G's to use in my sentences. No, we know they are spiritual assets that whoever we are, wherever we are, we have access to these assets. We just don't run out of them. The founder of Christian Science, Mary Baker Eddy, she says in her primary work, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, that God gives us spiritual ideas, and these ideas in turn bless us. I'm paraphrasing now.
Yeah.
But if we can turn to God with the same trust that the people in the Bible had, knowing that we forever have all we need, we will always be blessed with a never-ending stream of goodness. Let me give an example. Recently, I noticed there have been a lot of people teaching courses online. If you go online, you will find courses teaching any and everything. You will find courses teaching how to bake a cake. You can even learn how to become a comedian. You can learn how to sew. You can learn practically anything you can think about. Now, what's happening is that these online teachers have an overflow of the knowledge they are sharing. And this knowledge and that overflow that they have of the knowledge is translating into a never-ending stream of income. So if you think about it, you see that really the real income, the real provision is not the money they get, it's not what people pay them, it's the knowledge that they have. And that's not restricted in any way because it comes to them straight from God in a never-ending flow.
Well, that's insightful. An overflow of knowledge which is exchanged for value or money, and this in turn meets your needs. That's insightful. So the recourse for us is to turn to God and find the value or the truth that He provides and use them creatively or demonstrably to adjust or solve the problems we are facing. That's insightful. Now, how has your understanding of God's never-ending provision evolved through your study of Christian Science? And what practical steps have you found most effective in demonstrating this truth in your daily life? Because your initial answer clearly states give this deep reliance on God. I mean, how has that shaped your life, and how will that shape the lives of those listening?
I get really excited when I talk about the things I have learned in Christian Science. You see, Christian Science has opened my eyes to the possibilities for good, endless opportunities for good. In Christian Science, we learn that truly, like the Bible says, all things are possible with God. And when it comes to supply, I have learned through my study of Christian Science that I can never ever lack whatever I need. And it's not just me. This is for everybody. We all have ready access to all the resources we need. I mentioned Mary Baker Eddy once on Science and Health. In the same book, she writes, "Hold thought steadfastly to the enduring, the good and the true, and you will bring these into your experience proportionately to their occupancy of your thoughts." So I have learned that the good I experience, in this case we're talking about provision now, that the good I experience depends on the good I am able to hold in thought. In the Bible, God told Abraham in the Bible that He would give him as far as his eyes could see. When I think of that verse, I usually take it to mean that God was giving Abraham good that can only be restricted by his own perception. So it depended entirely on Abraham. Let's take an example, for instance. Let's say it's land, which usually most people assume is what was being talked about. Let's say God was talking about land. Abraham had access to as much land as he could see or perceive. So if he saw one plot, then he had one plot. If he saw 10 acres, he had access to 10 acres. And if he could see a lot more than that all the way across Israel, then he had that because God said, as far as his own eyes could see. Now, this lesson was very meaningful to me some time ago. I think it was a few years ago, when I experienced a period where I seemed to have very little to no money. I work as a freelance scriptwriter, and sometimes jobs can be few and very far between. So it makes it look like the income is erratic. And this time I was talking about, things got to the point where it looked as if paying for basic amenities, buying certain things were a problem. And I will admit that, I was discouraged at first. But then I thought of that hymn that I mentioned earlier, Immortal Love, Forever Full, Forever Flowing Free, Forever Shared, Forever Whole, and Never Ebbing Sea. And then I thought of all the people that enjoyed God's abundance in the Bible, and the fact that they did not enjoy those abundance with restrictions. I asked myself, has God changed? I don't think so. The Bible says He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I then asked myself, did He love those people in the Bible more? Again, my answer was no, I don't think so. So I came to the conclusion that abundant supply was mine as well, or can be mine if only I can see it. I also learned through my study of Christian Science that the best way to claim access to this abundance is through gratitude. And so I started learning to be grateful for everything I could see in my life that was good. I was grateful for all the good in my life. I was even grateful for the good that I could see around me in other people's lives. If somebody bought a new car, I was grateful. If somebody had anything good, any manifestation of good really that I saw, I was grateful for it. And then I remember that I started telling family members to call me Abundance. It was funny. We all laughed about it. But I was serious about it. I asked people to call me Abundance. I started having that, thought of abundance all the time, holding that in thought. And within a few days, script writing jobs started pouring in. And that year, I ended up making more than I had ever made in my entire writing career. And so, even beyond that abundance, the income, I learned a very valuable lesson. That even at those times, when it looked like I had very little, that God's provision was right there, in abundance, in a never-ending stream, like we're talking about. But I just had to see it, I had to accept it, and then I had to be grateful for it in order to start to experience it. And that was what I did, and the manifestation was provision. And one final thing I'd like to say, if you go to Christian Science churches, most Christian Science churches, if not all of them, then there's an inscription on the wall. It says, divine love always has met and always will meet every human need. Now the key words for me in that phrase is are always and every. The needs are always met, not met sometimes and then not met other times. Not that they are met this year and then next year they are not met. No, the needs are always met. And it is every single need. Whatever the need is, it will be met. Whatever the need is, it will be met, and it will be met every time. I think that phrase has helped me a lot over the years.
Awesome. Know it, accept it, and be grateful for it, and then live it, enjoy it, demonstrate it. I may not have captured it the way you put it, but I'm sure I'm halfway there. Thank you for the deep, beautiful insights. For inquiries and comments, get in touch via email to spiritualityonpoint, one word, @gmail.com. I'll take it again, spiritualityonpoint, one word, @gmail.com. Or you can reach us via telephone 080-3333-3803. I'll take it again, 080-3333-3803 or 080-6231-4394. I'll take it again, 080-6231-4394. You can reach us on any of these numbers or through the email, and you will definitely get your copy of Science and Health. If you are seeking the Science and Health, the free copy of Science and Health, please send your full name and address. This will help the delivery get through to you. Thank you. Looking forward to be here next week. May the insights shared deepen and grow in our lives. Happy weekend.